The diner was loud with clinking plates and tired conversations, but that single sentence cut through everything. Emma stood frozen for half a second, heart racing, before she stepped closer to the corner booth where a homeless man sat hunched over a cup of water. Her manager hovered nearby, arms crossed, eyes sharp with judgment. "You know the rules," he hissed. "Customers are uncomfortable." Emma swallowed. Her rent was late. Her tips barely covered groceries. And yet, something inside her refused to move aside. She looked at the man's trembling hands, the way he avoided eye contact like he'd learned the world didn't want to see him. "He's hungry," she said softly. "And he's human." Across the room, a man in a tailored coat lowered his newspaper, and no one noticed him at first. He looked ordinary enough, quiet, calm, unreadable. But as he listened, something shifted behind his eyes. The manager scoffed. "You want to pay for his food?" Emma nodded. "I will. For my tips." A few diners stared. Others looked away. The homeless man whispered a shaky thank you, already preparing himself to be pushed back out into the cold. "Bring him the soup," Emma added. "The warm one." The man with the newspaper folded it slowly. What Emma didn't know, what no one in that diner knew, was that the quiet man in the corner was a billionaire who owned half the buildings on that street. He hadn't come for the food. He'd come to remember what honesty sounded like in a world that mostly spoke in numbers. He watched as Emma set the bowl down, as she crouched slightly to meet the homeless man's eyes, as she treated him like someone who mattered. Not a problem, not a stain, a person. Something in the billionaire's chest tightened that he remembered his mother once doing the same thing when he was a boy, standing up for a stranger while everyone else stayed silent. He hadn't thought about that in decades. The manager shook his head. "You're too soft, Emma. This is a business." That was when the billionaire stood. "I agree," he said calmly, walking over. "This is a business." The diner fell quiet that he reached into his wallet, placed a card on the table, then looked directly at the manager. And businesses are built by people. The ones who understand humanity tend to last longer. The manager blinked. "Sir, you won't be firing her," the man continued. "If anything, you should be thanking her." Emma stared, confused, her cheeks burning. The billionaire turned to her. "What's your dream?" he asked. She hesitated. No one had ever asked her that while she was wearing an apron. I want to open a small cafe someday. A place where no one feels invisible." He smiled. "Not the polite kind. The real kind. Then let's start with that." The next morning, Emma received a call she thought was a prank. A cafe space had been paid for, training funded, a living stipend arranged, and at the bottom of the contract, a handwritten note. "Kindness is the rarest currency. You spend it wisely." Emma found the homeless man a week later, clean, fed, enrolled in a shelter program the billionaire quietly supported. Life didn't change because money showed up. It changed because someone chose compassion when it cost her something. And that's the moment we're reminded that kindness still matters. Not because it's rewarded, but because it reveals who we truly are when no one is watching.